Okay, so we're going to go into, like I said, we're going to jump around a little bit. So, um, we're going to be working on a project called Kentucky Street, and we're going to go in there and we're going to open up our working schedule, and I'm going to jump to utility reconnections, and we're going to go to Washington Gas, um, which is an application process for new construction of a gas line, and that's going to take us probably at least 3 months. So that's why we're starting on this process very early in right after the acquisition. I'm going to leave this link up here. Actually, I'm going to put it into YouTube so that you can access it. I personally have all my stuff bookmarked. It's probably a good way to do it. And I just wanted to run through the application um, that is right here. So now you're in the Washington gas portal, and this is all pre-filled in just for the sake of time. But I'll bring up a couple things that kind of jump out. So the jurisdiction is going to be Virginia. The zip code, if you're not sure, you're going to go into the actual job folder, documents. Actually, you know what? The easier way to do it is go to all your jobs, then project list, and sort by InDesign, and you'll see here's the address right here, which is 22205. Okay. Scrolling down the page, you will then put the contact information, which I already figured out or filled out. The company name, that's going to be another question that pops up. So you're going to go back in the job folder. Kentucky Street.
Okay, sorry. I think I accidentally hung up on you. So no worries. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Click go, and then we're going to go to documents. And what is it? We're going to go to corporate documents. You can find it on the certificate of organization. But this project, each one of these projects is called a different LLC. So that's the LLC right there. And it doesn't like the comma. So that should be fine. The project address, because it's the same thing. You would go to Kentucky Street, and then you go into your main projects, project list, and then you're going to find the address of this property, which is 895 North Kentucky Street. There is no unit number. Arlington, Virginia 22205. The mailing address is always going to be the office, which is right here. You can always just Google it. The big thing is just make sure that the unit number over here is B30 North. There's a couple different ones. And scrolling down the page, for this particular one, it's going to be single family, new construction. And are you requesting gas service to one structure? That's going to be a yes. Are you the current property owner, or do you have authority? Yes. And this is going to be the same on pretty much every single house. We have one furnace, quantity, furnace, one quantity, and 60,000 BTUs. You always have a range, one quantity, 60,000 BTUs, standard water heater, one. The only other difference is some of the houses will have a fireplace, which we don't do very often. But anyway, that's going to auto-calculate. You're going to be low or medium pressure. And Washington Gas is the slowest of all the utilities, so always put the soonest date. So it says you can't request it more than 60 days before, so tell them we want it 60 days. So the first date that they allow you to do it, and then just add another week for setting the meter, which is when you want to go live. Are there any obstacles? No. This is new construction, so there's not going to be anything. Are there any easements? No. Never have an easement. Okay. And then you need to choose the file. So actually, the step before this was we needed to ask the mechanical engineer to draw us on the plans. So you're going to go to, for this one, we're going to go to document tab, utilities, new connections. All this information needs to be in here. So our next one is going to be Dominion Energy. But this one I already set up, and it's Washington Gas. utilities, new connections, Washington Gas, and that's here it is in the grading plan. And what they're asking for, they need everything on this site plan here. And what they want is a connection for the gas shown so that they know. So here's the main, which is G. And then I had him already add the lateral, which is going to go here and right here. So then we'll just download that to the desktop. Save. Good to go. I'm going to go ahead and add that file that I just did. Make sure that file's there. If you do not have it, it's going to go into rejection, and it could take weeks to get this back to us. This is kind of repeating itself, but excuse me, managing number, Kentucky Street, Tacoma, same contact info, address, it's all the same information, and submit application. And I'm actually not going to do it so that you can do it. And then the last step is to, after you submit it, whatever confirmation you get, we want to go back into, we have to document everything that we do with these people because they lose stuff all the time. So I'm going to go utilities, new connections, Washington Gas, anything that you get, put it in this folder so that we have documentation of it. And then the last thing you're going to do is go to the schedule and you are going to update it. So I like to filter. You should really filter all of it out so that you don't have all this information that's irrelevant. And we have the disconnects already started. We're going to go into utility connections. It starts, what day is today? 22. And we're going to change this name. Okay, so you're responsible for that. I'm going to take this out. This thing's going to send you reminders of what you need to do every Monday. So we have Washington Gas, and as you'll see, the schedule's already built out. We need to scroll over to it, and we're going to change the color to yellow. So we're going to just right-click. This is kind of finicky, the way that this thing doesn't always work. We're going to go here, change color, yellow, and now we know the process has started. So this one's still green. Human power's a mistake. I don't know how that happened. It goes in the middle of doing it. That should be green as well. And you're going to need to change that to yellow after you do the submission for Dominion Power. And then we'll have to do the water company.